Mark Robinson, the self-described black Nazi, that's what he calls himself, and he's running for governor of North Carolina. That is the state our politics is in right now. There's actual fallout happening within the ranks of the Republican Party. I'm going to bring you all of that drama. And first, here are Republican senators saying that Mark Robinson basically has no shot at winning this thing. And someone who actually endorsed him, one of the major party leaders, has rescinded the endorsement. More on that in a bit. Here is some of the fallout.
If you're not wrong, he's toast. If he can't credibly rebut these accusations, he's a zombie.
Of course he should step aside. Outrageous, disgusting, vile, and his efforts to say it wasn't him need to show a good deal more substance than just saying it's not me.
And this was happening as Mark Robinson was digging in his heels on the campaign trail, rejecting any calls to drop out.
While this country is literally facing a crisis situation on the world stage, while our border is wide open, while our businesses are struggling, while folks are dying from fentanyl, while crime is spiraling out of control, you folks want to focus on tabloid trash, and quite frankly, I am sick of it.
Now the Republican Governors Association, which has spent millions on this campaign already, has announced moments ago that they are no longer going to be funding Mark Robinson's campaign. They're not going to be doing any more campaign spending. And remember, this is a must-win state. If Donald Trump doesn't win this state, he has almost no path to victory to getting 270 electoral votes. So Mark Robinson is 100% affecting the enthusiasm on the Republican side. There will 100% be down ballot effects because of this. And it may very well be the reason why Donald Trump loses this election. More on that.
We are not going to let CNN throw us off of our mission. Our mission is to win this race.
But the accusation seems to have former President Donald Trump's team on high alert. He did not mention his hand-picked candidate while visiting the battleground state this weekend.
Donald Trump not having Mark Robinson at the North Carolina rally is a very big deal. It shows that he's taking this very seriously and that the stakes of this are extremely high. Think about how he brought Laura Loomer, 9/11 truther conspiracy theorist, with him to the 9/11 memorial, but he's not going to bring Mark Robinson on stage with him at his rally when that could maybe actually help Mark Robinson. It goes to show how potentially potent this terrible endorsement is for Donald Trump, Mark Robinson, and the Republican Party. By the way, this is what Donald Trump said about Mark Robinson just months ago.
I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King ×2.
And here's J.D. Vance saying a whole lot of nothing when asked about Mark Robinson.
I don't not believe him. I don't believe him. I just think that you have to let these things sometimes play out in the court of public opinion.
It's so interesting to me that the people at the highest levels of the Republican Party, the people with the most power, are completely incapable of doing the right thing or doing the thing that makes the most sense. Here are what the staffers for Mark Robinson's campaign have done. It's incredible.
It's certainly playing out among Robinson's campaign staff, where more than a half dozen key players have resigned.
And now, because Mark Robinson has no funding from the Governors Association, he has no support from major Republicans, aside from Donald Trump, who's basically not supporting him, but has not really revoked his endorsement, and he's lost all of his staffers. Mark Robinson has no ads playing in North Carolina. None.
We've learned today that Robinson is no longer running ads on Facebook, Google, and YouTube. All of those digital ads for Robinson stopped over the weekend on Friday. He might not be running them because, as we mentioned right there, he doesn't even really have a campaign staff anymore. His campaign manager, his deputy campaign manager, his director of operations, his finance director, all those handful of staff have resigned. So Robinson is essentially not even advertising right now.
I mean, it's frankly incredible that he is not running any ads 40-ish days until the election. But you know who is running ads? Kamala Harris. And it's a pretty good one, tying Trump to Mark Robinson. Watch this.
And he's been an unbelievable Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson.
For me, there is no compromise on abortion.
I think you're better than Martin Luther King.
We could pass a bill saying you can't have an abortion in North Carolina for any reason.
Abortion in this country, it's about killing a child because you aren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down.
I've been with him a lot. I've gotten to know him, and he's outstanding.
Donald Trump and Mark Robinson. They're both wrong for North Carolina.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
And remember, like I said, the Republican Governors Association and affiliated PACs are not spending any money on Robinson's campaign. So up until this point, the Republican Governors Association has spent $16 million. That means the RGA has spent on this race weekly since July, $1 million. And the total spent on the race to date has an $87 million. That is the most spent for any governor's race this cycle, and it's now over. It's done. And then look at this.
Spending going into election today, starting on Wednesday, ad time that is reserved, $12.5 million for Democrats. Republicans have $0 being spent right now through election day.
So nothing on the air, nothing on Facebook, and nothing on Google going into election day. $12.5 million to elect the Democrat, $0 to elect Mark Robinson. And now it has come out that Brian Kemp, who had previously endorsed Mark Robinson, which is honestly insane, knowing everything we knew about Mark Robinson prior to these posts. I guess there is a breaking point, but now Brian Kemp, one of the most respected leaders in the Republican Party, has rescinded their endorsement of Mark Robinson. I can't read you the full article, but here is the important part. Governor Brian Kemp withdrew his support on Monday from the beleaguered North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, who was linked in a CNN report to a series of inflammatory comments on a pornographic website. And this is beautiful. This is a state that Trump has to win. He has to win it. Even Axios said so much in a statement saying why it matters. North Carolina is a must-win state for Trump. A poor showing in that state, which has voted Republican in 10 of the last 11 presidential contests, could signify a losing night for Trump. Mick Mulvaney said before any of this came out in August, said Trump is being weighed down by a very unpopular Republican candidate for governor. Trump's former chief of staff told Newsmax August 17th, before any of this came out. So it is really clear that this is a big problem for Donald Trump. And my hope for all of us is that he does lose it, and we learned about it very early on. North Carolina's polls close at 7:30, and state law allows processing of mail-in votes before Election Day, making an early count possible. So should Harris win North Carolina's 16 electoral votes, Trump's chances diminish, and we would know that very early on. So it could be that it would be a very early night on November 5th. Is that Election Day? Election Day, November 5th. So here's hoping, but this is not good news for Donald Trump. That is the headline here. This is not about Mark Robinson. This is about Donald Trump. And Mark Robinson is Frankenstein's monster in some ways. And I actually think it will be quite poetic that the monsters that Donald Trump and MAGA created will be Donald Trump's ultimate undoing. Isn't that beautiful? Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, hit like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you watched until the end, you're a real one. Thank you. And leave a blue heart so I know you made it to the end. And I'll see you soon.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?